You can push me, you can test me, you can drag my name through stone. I've been shattered, I've been empty, I survived it all alone. You can't hate me, you can't blame me, you can try to break my bones, you can burn my name in ashes, you'll never take my...
Everybody expects young men to be ready for marriage, but nobody prepares us for it. We are told that you should be getting ready and you should be there, ready to say, I do, when you get to a certain age. But who prepares us? Nobody. Majority of the people will tell you, now you're old enough to get married, but nobody tells you when, how to build it. Today we are going to discuss this topic. And I'm your host, Mr. John Goodman, and welcome to the Goodman Show. Today, I'm going to focus on 3 topics that young men need to focus on before you consider saying I do to your significant other. One is emotional awareness. Are you aware of your own emotions? You know, there's something we call EQ. Yeah, that is emotional intelligence. Majority of us, do we know that? Do we know what ticks you off? Do we know what makes you angry? Do we know what makes you happy? Do we know how you should be treated when you step into a relationship? Because majority of us step into a relationship. I've had friends who have married 3 times by the age of 30. And when we talk and try to understand what's going on with their lives, we find that some of them have low EQs. Now, in the Bible it says that a man who is able to control his anger can conquer an entire city. And a man who can't control his anger cannot conquer a city. I would rather conquer myself before I conquer a city so that I can build on it. This is life. This is what we call marriage. Marriage is where you conquer your own fears. You conquer your own emotional disabilities and iniquities in order to build something much better for yourself and your partner. So when you come to emotion, the Bible says in the book of Proverbs chapter 16 verse 32, it says, he who rules his spirit is greater than he who takes on a city. Meaning, if you always try to take things from an anger perspective, you'll end up losing more. But if you are able to conquer yourself first, then you're going to succeed in life and in marriage. James says, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Let me tell you, if there's one thing that can test you, is marriage. Things that we're not told. We're not told marriage will test you. They tell you marriage is good. Yes, it's good. But they don't tell you the fights. They don't tell you the good times. They will only tell you the good times, but they don't tell you the fights. Remember, you need to learn how to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and even slower to anger. Because anger destroys everything. Nothing in this world can stand because anger is involved. So what is the Bible trying to tell you? You need to learn your emotions. You need to learn what ticks you off. And if it ticks you off, how are you going to handle it next to your partner? How are you going to talk to her when you're angry? How are you going to listen to her when you're angry? You need to know all those things that trigger you. Majority of us are triggered by high pitches. Majority of us are triggered by always being criticized. It's human nature. Remember, when you step in marriage, that woman will criticize you. Baba Nani, why are you not doing this? Mr. Man, why are you not doing that? Other men are doing this. Why are you not doing this? All these things will be critics. And if you approach them from a place of anger, divorce is going to be watching you and waiting for you. That door will be open. But if you're slow to listen, if you're fast to listen, slow to anger, you can conquer everything that you wish to conquer in this life. And that's the simplest truth. Point number 1, please focus on your emotional stability before you focus on anything else. Before you talk about the money, the wealth, how you talk to this girl, focus on your emotional stability. Ensure that emotionally you are there. Emotionally, you can build with this person. And when you talk about emotional stability, it includes even those exes that you had in your past. You know, in the modern society, we have had too many exes before we step into marriage. And at times we come and bleed on the wrong people. So for example, if your ex left you, you will quit every woman who comes next to her and say, yo, She's behaving this way. We need to stop. I need to walk away. But she's not your ex. Now you're bleeding. You're bringing problems that that happened before, long ago, before she stepped into the picture. So when you're stepping into marriage, emotional stability equals you working on yourself. Remember when you were young, you're always taught by your teachers, your mother, and even your father. They always told you, before you make a decision, you need to call a conference of 3 people, me, myself, and I. So before you speak, when you're angry, call that meeting, me, myself, and I. If I tell her this, if she had told me what I want to tell her right now, how would she have taken it? That is emotional stability in marriage and emotional stability before marriage. Point number 2 is financial readiness. And this is where most parents actually go wrong. They tell you that you step in marriage and God will provide. Man, bro, you need to be financial, you have to have that financial education. They will tell you today, they will tell you tomorrow, they will tell you the next day, oh yeah, I know you don't have anything, but look for a girl that you can build with. Yes, nothing is multiplied by 0. If you multiply 1,000,000 by 0, it will still be 1,000,000. If you multiply 1 by 1,000,000, it will be still 1,000,000. If you multiply 2 by 1,000,000, you have to come with something on the table. You don't have to become a millionaire when you're stepping into marriage. I'm not saying that you need that. But you need a few things. You need education when it comes to budgeting. If you know how to budget as a man and you step in a relationship, both of you can sit down and draft a budget for the family and say, this is the amount that we are going to be spending on the bills, this is the amount you're spending on investment, this is the amount you're going to be saving, and this is the amount you're taking to church. As long as you know budgeting. It's funny, when you go to Indians, they are taught this. When you go to Jews, they are taught this before marriage. They are told that you have to budget. Don't spend more than 50% of your wages. That is 50%. 20% is to invest. 20% is for savings. 10% is taken back to church. They are taught all this before marriage. But as Christians, we are rarely taught that. We are told, step into marriage. Have you ever heard this statement they tell you? Kila mtoto hukuja na sahani yake. Yes, anakuja na sahani yake. But if you do not know how to budget, your sahani itapotea. That's life. That's the truth about marriage. Marriage is all about taking finances and budgeting them. So learn to budget. For me and my partner, we discussed a few weeks ago and we said that we are going to go with the 50-20-20-10 rule. Meaning 50% is of the amount that we bring at home, me and her, will be used on bills. 20% will be used in investments. 20% will be used in savings. 10% will be used in the church. Imagine, that's me learning how to budget. No, she already knows when she steps into marriage, she has a man who can multiply that into 2. The other thing, debt management. We are not taught how to manage debt. In the modern society, young people have been taught 2 things, consumerism and spending. Consumerism. Right now, I saw on TikTok a man saying that, come with 20,000 shillings, I'll get you iPhone 14, and you have to pay it within 3 months for it not to incur any extra charges. And there's somebody who run for that. I'll give you this example. We take small loans from the online services. We can take them from Tala, we can take them from other places. We take these small loans. Majority of us are unable to pay them at times. And when we take these small loans, we take them for self-gratification. For example, there are those who will take this small loan, fuliza. Kuna mtu atafuliza just to go drink. Kuna mwenye atafuliza just because I need a new shirt to look good in front of my friends. Kuna mwenye atafuliza just because she wants to go out with her friends and eat pizza and eat in Chicken Inn and go to ice cream inn. That is a bad debt. We are not taught what is a good debt and what is a bad debt. That's what we are not taught by our parents. Our parents tell us, now you're getting old, you need to go learn how to find money. And when you can't find money, there are services that can lend you money. But they don't tell you what's a good debt and what's a bad debt. A good debt is a debt that you can invest. A debt that can multiply and pay itself. And that's what most rich people actually teach their kids. They will tell their kids, go to the bank, take a certain amount of money, invest that money in a certain place, use that money for some tax write-offs, and let that money multiply. But for us, we are told, You can borrow just to pay or to offset a certain bill. That becomes a bad debt because it becomes a burden. Bad debts become burdens. And it's something that we need to look at. In the book of Proverbs, it says, Proverbs chapter 21, verse 5, it says, the plan of the diligent leads surely to abundance, will lead you to grow. If you have a plan, a very well budgeted plan, you can grow it. You won't fail. With a plan, you can surpass it. In the book of Habakkuk, it is written, write down your vision. Why would God tell you write down your vision? It tells you to write your vision and your plans for you to stay on point with them, for you to stay on par with them. That is the truth. Young men, you need to remember, you need to learn how to incur debt. Don't get a bad debt. The other thing is planning. So remember, all these things that we have talked, budgeting, debt management, it's all about planning. And trust me, this woman doesn't come to your place if financially you can't plan. You have to plan. You have to say, if I'm making 100,000 shillings monthly, we are going to use 50. We want a piece of land, yes. So the 20% will be used to pay for that. 20% will be used to buy a money market fund, will be put in the money market funds and multiply there, and 10% is taken to the church. That is simple math. Very simple math. So, first point, emotional stability. The second one is financial management and financial readiness. That point of this entire segment is, the third segment is purpose and direction. And this is where most young youth tend to lose. Purpose and direction. Let me ask you, when you step in a relationship or when you step in marriage, the first thing the person will look at, can this person be a leader? Can this person lead me to where I should be? So if you do not have a purpose or direction, you will get lost in the pathways. In the pipeline, you get lost. My mentor tells me, most young men are not broke. His emotions when the enemy is knocking at the gate. So marriage is a lot of things. Marriage comes with a lot of diversities. And even when you read the Bible, the institution that has been largely targeted by the devil is marriage. Because marriage will lead to a family, the family unit, the first basic family unit. If I want to break a society, and go read, I'll get it for you next time. But I need you to go sit down and see the manifesto of most governments. And you'll understand, for them, they want to break down the family setup in order to control. It's the same thing that the devil does. For him to control man, for him to control you as a man, the easiest way is to make sure he breaks down the family. Because men are family oriented. There's no man, it's hard for you to meet a man who says, I do not want marriage, I do not want a family, I want a wife and kids. It's hard to find that a man is saying the opposite. Now, I need you to understand, if you're able to fix all these things, if you're able to fix your temper, you're able to learn how to communicate with your partner, then you're going to succeed. But if you can't sit down and communicate with your own partner, it will be impossible. It will be so impossible for you to be able to communicate with that person. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu utamwongelesha aje? If you're always angry, or when you get home, there's always something to complain about, hamtaelewana. If you can't manage your money, I've seen doctors going back home. Anafika nyumbani, he has nothing to show for. I've seen people get into retirement. Teachers, I've seen teachers during the old ages when teachers were teachers, they get to retirement and the only thing people remember them for, the drunkard. When you go to the village in Kikuyu land, mostly Nyeri, Kiambu, you hear, are mwalimu, no thikoishie, ni modo moleu, no konyuanyuaga, atida hali akabe. All he does is sit in the town station and wait for somebody to buy him a drink. But when he was young, he was a doctor. When he was young, he was a teacher. but he did not learn how to budget all these things. My mentor tells me the first time he decided to marry, he went to his pastor and told his pastor, Pastor, I want to marry. The first thing the pastor told him, are you financially ready? And the guy was like, what do you mean financially ready? Are you financially stable? Kamuliza, what do you mean? Do you have a job? Okay. The guy asked the pastor, okay, right now I have a job. So if the job ends today, should I tell my wife, get out, mpaka nipate kazi tena? Ongea ukweli. Aliambiwa, make sure uko na kazi, when you step into marriage, make sure uko na kazi, and ndio uweze kushughulikia bibi yako. I don't disagree, it's a good plan. But, kazi kiisha, utafukuza bibi yako? No. But if you financially had a plan and a budget, trust me, you will be able to take care of that woman even when the job is over. But are we taught how to manage this? Our parents in the modern society are looking at us like retirement opportunities. For example, I had a young man saying that, mamangu niangalia ka retirement benefit yake. So this guy knows that I'm not even looking for my own family alone. I'm even considering my parents. I'm not saying it's wrong to give your parents money. Yes. Give them, help them out. But she and he should not look at you as a retirement plan. Sir, but I digress. All you need to understand, you need to fix these three things. Fix your temper, fix your spending, find direction, find purpose, make a plan. Look at your dream. What was your dream? Can I achieve it now? It is never too late to achieve a dream. Look at it. Even in the Bible, Abraham got a son at a very old age. Sarah got that child at the age that she was not able to bear more children, but she did. So it's never too late. Make a plan, write it down. Tell the wife, my wife, this is my dream. This is your dream. Reconcile both dreams. Sit down, write it down. And this begins when you're courting. During courtship period, learn to talk with your partner. See your partner for who she is and let her see you for who you are. My closing remark is, if you are preparing for marriage, on the comment section, type prepared. Because we want to prepare on that. May the Lord bless you for the week, and may you have a wonderful week.